Can you hear me? Most High Christ, so lock here. All right. If you want an apocrypha, you can go to Amazon, eBay, somewhere. You can get an apocrypha. They're cheap. They're not really that expensive. You know what I'm saying? Get you an apocrypha. It lines up perfectly with the Bible. Today we are commemorating, of course, Judah's. You know, we're commemorating brothers who were brave and who were strong. You know what I'm saying? And who came up against, you know, their oppressor who was trying to get them to submit, which has happened to us many times in Israel. Israel has always been put in positions, you understand, because of our disobedience. That's exactly what I'm looking for throughout. This right here is a 1611 King James Version Bible. This right here contains the Apocrypha. It is the original translation of King James that he had translated. You understand? When you go to the store today, you will find a regular King James Version Bible, which is the version they took the Apocrypha out of. But if you go and do some research, you can find these Bibles, which is the original one, and this is printed with the Apocrypha in it. Okay? Going back to the scriptures, all right, give me 1 second. All right, so who is Judas? Who is Mattathias Maccabees? Who is Judas Maccabees? Mattathias Maccabees is the father of Judas Maccabees, all right? Mattathias Maccabees was a man who was very honorable in the land of Israel in the time of the Seleucid Empire. All right, the Seleucid Empire was ran by a Greek emperor by the name of Antiochus IV. All right, Antiochus IV, you understand, he was much like Donald Trump, much like Thomas Jefferson. He was much like Columbus. He had the same spirit as all of the nation of all of the white leaders that you know of today. You understand? And Antiochus, what he wanted was he wanted to build an empire where he could bring everybody together, which is the same spirit of America. In America today, they want us to come together, right? They want us to love each other. You understand? They want us to celebrate Christmas together. All of the things that is against the Lord, they want us to come together and do those together and call ourselves one, which the Lord is not pleased with. The Lord does not want this. The Lord wanted us divided. It's in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So, but this is what Antiochus wanted. He wanted. You know what I'm saying? So in this time period, in 175 BC, I do believe, what he did is he came and he ransacked Jerusalem and he destroyed the Temple of Solomon, him and his people, the Greeks. They came in and they destroyed the temple, and they started putting their gods inside of the temple, and they started worshiping Zeus and all the other gods, whatever gods, false gods you could think of, right? So they ransacked that temple, and they started doing all kinds of disgusting things inside of that temple, worshiping other gods. You understand? You know, having orgies and just disrespecting, you know what I'm saying, a sacred or, you know, a temple that belonged to the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Which was a very evil thing. Right? So now, and he committed so many atrocities, man. He, just like today, how they commit atrocities on us, they did the same thing to us in that time period, man. In that time period, they forced us to do things that were against our will, man. You know what I'm saying? And they brutalized us and did all kinds of wicked things to us and had us doing things that were wicked as well. You understand? We good? Okay, Most High Christ, sorry. All right, and so they ransacked this temple. They took all of our riches, just like they did us back in the pre-America, man. When they came to the Ivory Coast of Africa, what did they do? They snatched our language from us. They snatched our riches from us. You understand? They snatched everything that belonged to our identity from us, and they put us in slavery, right? And throughout slavery, what did they do? They taught us Christianity, right? They taught us Christianity. They taught us, you know, how to love their ways and their customs. You understand? That was the same thing that Antiochus was doing in that empire, which is no different from this empire. It's the same thing that Pharaoh was doing in Egypt, the same thing that was being done in the land of Babylon. You understand? It's just a horrible, and disgusting, thing. The spirit of the Most High Shalom, Yahweh Shalom. Just a horrible and disgusting thing. All right? So what we're going to do is, first we're going to start in First Maccabees chapter 1 and 31. All right? And this goes into when they came and they destroyed Israel. When they came and ransacked the temple, and they caused us to, they forced us to join their wicked empire. Right? Got that?
You come.
Read it out loud.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 31.
Salakia, chapter 1, verse 31.
Salakia. So First Maccabees 1 and 31?
That's correct. Salakia.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 31. Shut up this army in the hand of thy people Israel, and let them be confounded in their power in horsemen.
You in First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 31?
You count. You said
First Maccabees.
First Maccabees.
Chapter 1. Chapter 1, verse 31.
Okay, here we go.
No, go ahead.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 31.
Read.
And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire.
You understand? The Antiochus the fourth, Epiphany, right? He came and he destroyed, him and his nation, they came and destroyed the temple that we had, and he destroyed it, and they looted. They took everything that we had, which is something that they do to us all the time, man. When they came to Ivory Coast of Africa, they took us and stripped us of everything we had. You understand? And when they came and got us out of any empire, in every empire that we were led captive, into, we would strip of everything, not just our identity, not just, our tongue, but even our personal items, the things that belong to our culture. It was stripped of us, man. You understand? Read.
And pulled down our houses and walls thereof on every side.
And destroyed our cities, destroyed our homes, destroyed where we live. You understand? Like everywhere that we've been, every time we came under attack by our enemies, guess what happened? It was destroyed. Our walls were pulled down, our houses were pulled down, they were torn down and destroyed. And that's what he did. You understand? A evil and wicked ruler over us. You understand? Who wanted power and wanted to have rulership and dominion over the Israelites. You understand? Who are God's people according to the Bible? Who are you black Hispanics and Native Indians according to the Bible? All right, keep reading.
Verse 32. But the women and children took they captives.
And took our women and children for slaves. All right? Which ain't no different from what they did to us here, man. We go back in the time of slavery, we were separated from our women and our children. You know what I'm saying? Families were brought here as slaves, and those families, those sisters and those children, they were separated from their husbands and sold down towards the south or to the north or wherever the demand was, man. Read.
And possessed the cattle.
And they possessed all of our cattle, all of our livestock, all of the things that belong to us. All right? They possessed it. You understand? Salakia, do good. I was about to say, if you could handle that for me, because I see what you're doing. If y'all sisters could go over there and sit on that side of the shop, the water. If we gotta move, if because of how many it is over here, if we gotta move these seats down towards that way, that's fine. Just so when we clear, I see we got a lot more sisters than we have brothers right over there. Give that a hand. Yeah. Please. Yeah, come on, let's do it. If y'all need room, y'all can scoot your seats back down this way a little bit, being that it's not a whole lot of brothers on this side. If y'all need some more room. All right? All right? Yeah, so they took all of our women and our children into captivity. took our women and our children to captivity, and they took our livestock and our cattle. They took our riches. They took everything that belonged to us that we thrived on, all right, including our culture, including everything that belonged to us as Israelites. Read on.
Verse 33. Then builded the city of David with a great and strong wall.
And they built a strong wall on it. Keep reading.
And the mighty towers.
Mm-hmm.
And made it a stronghold for them.
They created a stronghold for them in our city. They took our land and they made an empire or a governing body, a strong governing body, an army in our city. You understand? Read on.
Verse 34. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein.
They fortified themselves in, man. And say, give me the definition of fortified. They put themselves inside of that nation, inside of our nation, and they became, and they were wicked. You understand? Because the Israelites are a nation that were given laws, statutes, and commandments. And we were to obey those laws, which was commanded to us by the Lord. You know what I'm saying? All the way from the beginning with Adam, but then again with Moses. He had commanded us to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Now we are in the land, right, where it's being taken over by our enemies, and these are wicked people who are bringing their customs and their traditions into it and doing things that are against the Most High. You understand? What does that sound like today? It sounds like America. Right? Native Indians, what happened to the Native Indians? The Native Indians were brought into this land, right, Mordecai? I mean, the Native Indians was in this land, and then that nation came over into this land, and did what? They destroyed them.
Right.
Forced their religion on them. As a matter of fact, the whole conquest of coming to America, you understand, and doing what they did to the Native Indians is from a Christian background. You understand? This is no different. This conquest that Antiochus was leading is no different from the conquest, you understand, that was led by Columbus and led by, you know, the Europeans to come and take the Native Indians or the children of Israel from the tribe of Gad, you know what I'm saying, and make them be like them. You know what I'm saying, to destroy them and make them become Americanized. You know what I'm saying? Only in this instance, Antiochus is trying to turn the Israelites and make them adopt Greek customs. All right, keep reading.
You still want the definition of fortified?
Yeah, if I could.
All right, come. It's a Merriam-Webster dictionary. Fortified, to make strong, such as to strengthen and secure a place such as a town.
Read it again.
To strengthen and secure a place such as a town.
You understand? They were strengthening and securing themselves in our cities. You understand? They was making themselves a strong presence in our city. You understand? All right. Give me 1 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 41.
This is the book of 1 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote this whole kingdom that all should be one people.
That all shall what?
Be one people.
That all shall be one people. What does that sound like? That sounds like America, man. That sounds like us today.
Right.
In today's society, we're taught to be like to all be one, right? Right? We have all nations of tongues, you know what I'm saying, inside of this country. You know what I'm saying? We all come together and celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas. We all believe that we want to be equal to each other. You understand? All lives matter. You understand?
Right.
When black lives has not been mattering here in America, man. Like, our lives ain't been mattering here. So it's all got to be the lies. You understand? But however, this is something that is ancient. This is a tradition by the heathens that is ancient to bring us all together and be one melting pot under the rulership of our enemies, man. You understand? And of course there comes chaos with that. Because we get treated like garbage, man. You understand? So that's why it's high time for us to start following the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments, so that we can free ourselves from this hell, which is what which is what these brothers wanted to do, what the Maccabees wanted to do, man. All right, keep reading.
And everyone should leave his laws.
So he wanted everybody to leave their laws. He was pressed on, you understand, getting people to leave their identity and what governed them, their moral compass. You understand? And follow his traditions, his customs, his laws. Right? He wanted power over all the nations of the earth. In other words, he was trying to make himself a god on this earth, man.
Right.
Keep reading.
And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
All the heathen agreed to the commandment of the king, man. They agreed with it. They wanted to be under the rulership of this king who said, everybody's going to come together. Everybody's going to be one. Everybody's going to speak one language. You understand? It's the same as today. What's the primary language here in the earth? Who knows? Raise your hand. Go. English. Give her a hand. What's the primary language in America? What's the primary currency inside of the land in the world? Raise your hand if you know. The primary currency. Go ahead, Doc. The U.S. dollar, man. You know what I'm saying? Give him a hand.
Yeah, I'm right.
This is a nation that we live in today that is trying to make everybody one, which is utterly against the Lord. You understand? The Lord commanded us all to be separate, man.
Right.
Commanded us to be separate from each other. And this man wanted to bring us together, the same as all of these politicians, and the same as the spirit of America saying that we're all one and coming together and join hand in hand with each other and march up and down the street in unity, all colors, all colors. That is against the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And Malachias knew that. And Judas Maccabees, his son, knew that. You understand? Keep reading.
Verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Read that again.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Many of the Israelites consented to it, man. This is such a horrible thing that we do even in this day and time. You understand that we go along and we join our oppressor. You understand? We join our oppressor. Instead of us saying, you know what, I'm not going to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You told me to do it, but I'm not going to do it. We're going to do it anyway. You understand? This society taught us how to eat pork, shrimp. They told us that we were supposed to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster when the Lord gave us laws that said not to eat that and many other things, right? This society says worship a Christmas tree. Or, you know what I'm saying, or go and worship the goddess Ishtar, or celebrate Easter, in other words. You understand? And the scriptures tell us not to do that. The laws that the Most High gave us told us not to do that. But in this time period, when Antiochus took over our land and started forcing his custom and his laws on us, he gave us these traditions. You understand? And a lot of us went and followed those traditions. A lot of us went and followed those traditions like we do today. You understand? They gave us the religions and we went and joined them. Christianity is one of the biggest, that's another one I forgot to mention. Christianity is a world religion. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest religions. And who was it created by? It was created by the Greco-Romans. Right? It was created by a Greek name, what was his name? Constantine, if I'm not mistaken. Right? You understand? And it was created, and now guess what? Everybody joins unto it. It's a world religion. And the majority of our people have joined themselves unto it whether they think they are it or not. You understand? If you're not in the truth, you might as well be a Christian, because Christianity created all of the religions or the whatever movements that you're part of, whether they're, Islam or, or whatever it is, that all of that stuff comes from paganism, which is what Christianity, what the Roman Catholic Church has birthed, man. It has nothing to do with the laws of the Most High. You understand? And Mattathias and all of the men that followed Matthias, and Judas Maccabees, and all of the men that followed Judas Maccabees, and the men women, you understand, they knew better. They understood that. All right. 43.
Verse 43.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols
Mm-hmm.
and profaned the Sabbath.
Man, many of us decided to go against the Most High. We knew the law, statutes, and commandments. We knew who our God was, and yet we decided to profane the Sabbath. I mean, we wasn't keeping the Sabbath, man. We decided to disobey the Most High, and we decided to go away from our laws. You understand? Which is what we have done in this society. In this society, we have decided to go against the Most High by doing what this society has offered us. This society is a lawless place. This is a place that tells us that we can be homosexuals, that we can, be whores, that we can be pimps, that we can do drugs, that we do whatever. And it's all against what our moral compass is, which is the Bible. It's all against that. You understand? Keep reading.
Verse 44. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem.
Oh, so like, okay. Go back to, what's that, 43 that I had you on?
Yeah, come.
Read that one more time, so like.
Come. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols
Mm-hmm.
and profaned the Sabbath.
All right, jump down to 45.
Verse 45.
Mm-hmm.
First Maccabees 1:45. And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple.
Mm-hmm.
And they that should profane the Sabbaths in festival days. Verse 46.
Mm-hmm.
And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. 47.
Mm-hmm.
Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
These are all the things we started doing that was against the Most High, man. We strayed away from our traditions and started doing things that were not of the Most High, which was of what Antiochus wanted to do. Salakia. If y'all could, I'll let you be in charge of that. Go ahead and have some sisters go ahead and give food out. Y'all can eat now. Y'all don't have to wait till in the class to eat. Y'all can start eating now. So if you can get that straight out, Most High Christ. Or any sister, anybody that want to get up, y'all go ahead and do that. Uncle Sean. Set up altars and groves. All right, you on verse 47, Salaki. Go ahead.
Verse 47. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols
Mm-hmm.
and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
Right?
Verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Keep reading.
Yeah, keep reading.
Verse 48. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
You understand that this is what it caused us to do. Like, this took us away from our traditions. It took us away from what we were given, with the laws, you understand, that was given to us, the traditions that were given to us. And it caused us to do the things that were against the Most High, like today. You understand? It's the same as today. This happened to us in the empire of, when we was living in Egypt. This happened to us in Babylon. This happened to us in the Greco-Roman empire. This happened to us today.
Right.
It's a continuous cycle of, of this happening. You understand? And it's because of our disobedience to the Most High. We must start relying on the Most High to deliver us out of these hells that we've been in, man. But it's going to take for us, you understand, to start accepting the Most High and not rejecting them, all right? And stop, stop accepting our enemies, man. All right? Keep reading that.
Verse 49. To the end they might forget the law and change of all the ordinances.
All right, and that's what Antiochus sought out to do. That's what the Greeks sought out to do, man. You understand? They forced, in essence, they forced us to become Christians.
Right.
They forced this lifestyle on us, right? So that we will profane the Lord, so that we will fall away from what the Lord requested or wanted us to do, man. You understand? Like, that's what they did. You understand? And what's so heavy about it, right? What's so heavy about it is that there are brothers and sisters, man, who are just strong and absolutely loyal to the Most High. You understand? Like, think of yourselves in the same way. You understand? You're in the truth here, right? You would be a brother or a sister in that time period, right? That would have rejected Antiochus, man. You would have been a brother and sister in that time period that would have said, hell no, I'm not doing that. I'm not about to profane the Lord. I'm not going to eat that pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. I don't care what you say. I'm not going to be homosexual. I don't care what you say. You know what I'm saying? A good example is the sister in 2nd Maccabees.
Right.
Y'all heard of that sister. That sister was a bad woman. You understand? And why was she bad? Because instead of, when the king was trying to pressure her into eating that pork, what did she say? She said, she took death. Her and her sons, they took death. They gave their tongues, and they were facing, they were facing death. And they knew they were going to die from rejecting the king's offer instead of going ahead and they was going to die from rejecting the king's offer. But what happened? They decided they was going to choose the Most High over the king. You know what I'm saying? And they ended up dying for it. That's what you call loyalty, man. That's what you call loyalty to the Most High. And it was an honorable thing that sister did. And it's a very horrible thing that happened to him. However, that is loyalty to the Most High, man. You understand? And her son, listen, that story, you're gonna read it. That was a horrible story, man. Her and her sons were horribly mocked. They were mocked, you know what I'm saying, and they were killed right in front of her. She watched all 7 of her sons die.
Right.
You understand? Before they killed her. You know what I'm saying? Just because they wouldn't eat pork. Like, literally wouldn't eat pork. Like, this king was trying to get them to eat pork, and they knew not to eat this flesh of the swine. And because they wouldn't eat it, they were cast into cauldrons, into hot pans. You know, so they had their limbs cut off, and they had their bodies thrown into pots and pans, and they were basically cooked alive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just an evil and heinous thing that you could ever imagine a human would have to go through. That happened to them. And they chose that. They were martyrs. They chose that. That shows you how much a person loved the Most High. They're willing to go through that amount of pain, you understand, to be on the Most High versus allowing, this dirty bastard of a king to change their influence or to influence them to change their minds about the truth or the laws or about the Most High, to stray them away from their God.
Right.
Of course, they knew without our God, of course, without the Most High, guess what? They knew that we had no power, man.
Right.
You understand? Read on that.
Verse 50. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
Man, if you didn't do whatever the king wanted to do, you died. You got put to death, man. You know what I'm saying? This is how evil Antiochus was, man. You know what I'm saying? He wanted people to serve him. He wanted people to speak his language, serve his gods, and that's what it was. And if you didn't do it, you got put to death. Read on that.
Verse 51. In the same matter, wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice.
You understand? He just, just the same as like you put overseers over the city, just like we had overseers, in the time of Egypt, or masters or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And he had people to make sure that they were serving him, right? Keep reading.
City by city.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 32. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, every one that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land.
Now, come on, man. Read that again.
Then many of the people who got work Shalit. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, every one that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land.
I mean, that's what it was, man. Everybody forsake the law, they committed evil in the land. Now, you take the law away from the Israelites, man, you get drug dealers, you get prostitutes, you understand, you get whoremongers, you understand, you get all kinds of wickedness on this earth. We have to have the laws, statutes, commandments to keep peace and order on this earth. But the minute you take the laws out of this place, man, this place becomes hell, man. And that's what we're living in today. We're living in hell.
Right.
Because we have strayed away from the Most High. We have strayed away from the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? And that's why the Most High told us to come out of her, which is talking about America.
Right.
Listen, Mattathias, he knew that it was time to come up out of her, man. Come up out of that way of living that Antiochus wanted to live. You understand? Drop that. Give me First Maccabees 2 and 15, right? All right, we're going to talk about Mattathias, right? At the time of 167, I want to say 167 BC, a man named Mattathias rose up, right? You understand? Read.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 15. In the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city of Modin to make them sacrifice.
Right. So now he's come. So him and his army, his officers, said him and his officers, him and his army, his military, his elite men, they decided they're going to go into the land of Modin, which is where Mattathias dwelled, right? Right? He went into that land and he was going to force them to sacrifice unto him, right? Read on.
Verse 16, and when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias also and his sons came together.
So Israel is coming. So Israel came together to see this king and these officers, right? And they gathered upon him to hear what it was that he was going to have them to do. And Mattathias and his sons came along. Read on.
Verse 17, then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias, on this wise thou art a ruler, and an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthen it with sons and brethren.
So this is what he's saying to Mattathias. He's saying, you are an honorable man and well respected. You have a great reputation amongst your people, right? So in other words, he wanted to make Mattathias an example, you understand, by having Mattathias to bow down and worship him, right, the king. Because what would happen if Mattathias bowed? Being that Mattathias had so much power, and because he was a great influence and a great reputation, what would have happened if Mattathias bowed down to King Antiochus? Somebody answer that. Go ahead, now. Speak up, I can't hear you, man.
It would have disobeyed the law.
That's a good one. Somebody give me one of his. Go ahead.
Everybody else would have followed him and did the same.
That's exactly what would have happened, man. You're right, but I like that one. That was right on point. Everybody would have did exactly what Mattathias did. They would follow his example because he was a very honorable man. And that is why we say, you understand, our oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of, man.
That's right.
You understand? Because he knew that in order to get these men, or in this nation, to bow, he had to get their most honorable and most and the most honored and most powerful, the brother that's just everybody reputes as being great inside of their land. So they had to go after him. 1 second now. Right? So keep reading.
Verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment. Like,
hold on, Salagia. So basically they tried to, they understood that he was honorable, he was respected, and a man of integrity. You understand? And they wanted him to make him submit in the sight of all of the people of Modern, so as to make an example of the people, you understand, to follow. You understand? And that was the main objective for them to do that. You understand? And that's what, and listen, it's the same thing today, man.
Right.
They make T.D. Jakes, like you got brothers like T.D. Jakes and Jesse Jackson. These are men that are renowned, right? These are men that are important, that everybody knows about, you understand? And these are like great men on this earth. I'm not saying great as in they are righteous men, but these are men who are popular and are very much known in this earth, right? So now, with that being said, how do they get us to follow America's traditions? How do they get us to follow Christianity? Go ahead, Al.
Salakia, sir, you take the so-called most powerful men out of the nation of Israel, like our leaders, like our black leaders, and you let them be like a public example when it comes to doing things that America like even with Dwayne Wade, a powerful man, but America made him submissive and made him turn his son into a homosexual.
Give him my hand. You understand? And they see that example of some brother like Dwayne Wade, right? And they say, well, I guess I'll let my kid come out the closet.
Good night.
You understand? Or, oh, I see this guy, he said join hand in hand with our enemies. Oh, I guess I'll join hand in hand with my enemy. If that's what makes peace on earth, right? It's an evil thing to do. Right? It's a horrible thing to do. But that's what happens when you join your oppressor, man. You understand? And they wanted him to do that. The same as how America today uses Jesse Jackson, T.D. Jakes, all of the Bible says that our gates are language, man. You understand? Matter of fact, give me that scripture real quick. Scripture says that the gates of language, man, our gates are what? Our religious leaders, our leaders. You understand? You understand? And they wanted to use who? They wanted to use Mattathias to get the people to submit. But Mattathias was not that type of Negro, man.
Right.
Like he wasn't that type of Negro. I'm gonna tell you what type of Negro that will do that. Jesse Jackson would do that. Martin Luther King did that. Martin Luther King bowed down to America so that he could lead. Even when he said himself, what's the quote? I think I've led my people into a burning building. You understand? And I'm paraphrasing that. You understand? He knew that was the thing that he did. Read that scripture if you got it for me.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 2.
Read.
Judah mourneth, in the gates thereof language.
The Bible says that Judah mourneth, because if you look at the conditions of black Hispanics Native Indians today, which was the same condition that we were in under Antiochus, you understand, we are mourning because we are destroyed. You understand? The opioid pandemic is killing us. The crack pandemic is killing us. Abortion is destroying us. COVID-19 is killing us today. You understand? Horrible conditions that we're in right now. You understand? Our children are being taken away from us. We're dying of all kinds of diseases, high blood pressure. You understand? Everything you can think of. We're going through all of these things as part of our curse, man. You understand? Read it.
They are black.
I'm sorry, go from the top, right?
Judah mourneth, in the gates thereof language.
The gates thereof language, right? Our gates have language, man. You understand? Because our gates are who? Our gates are supposed to be our religious leaders. Our gates are supposed to be T.D. Jakes. Our gates are supposed to be Jesse Jackson's. Our gates were supposed to be Martin Luther King. Our gates were supposed to be what's the pastor out here in Cleveland? What's his name? John Gray. Our gates are supposed to be John Gray. You understand? I said it right the first time, John.
Right.
It's a lie. No sweat. But no, I mean, come on, man. Our gates Our gates are languished, meaning they're useless. What good is a gate that can't keep an intruder out? You know what I'm saying? What good is a gate that can't keep your enemy out? A languished gate is a gate that's destroyed.
Right.
Just imagine you have a fence around your house and there's a big hole in your fence, or the fence is laying down. Then what's going to happen? People are going to walk right into your yard and come in your house and probably kill you and rob you, right? That's what happened to us, man. That's what happened to Black, Hispanic, Native Indian people, man. Our gates, our leaders have become weak on this earth, and they've allowed our enemies to walk into our backyards and shoot us down, man. To give us drugs, man. You understand? To give us AIDS. To cause us to be homosexual, teach us that being homosexual is being free. You understand? Women's rights. Go ahead, I'll read. Oh, go ahead.
I have a definition of language.
Oh, go ahead. No, sir.
Language definition of a person or other living thing, loose or lack vitality, grow weak or feeble.
You understand? Weak and feeble is perfect definitions. You understand? Weak is a perfect definition of what our leaders are today. They are weak. Mattathias was not weak. When you read about Mattathias, you're going to realize how real of a brother he was. He carried the spirit that we have in the ISUPK today. These brothers that you see, don't take it for granted.
Right.
When you see this brother sitting over here by the door, this brother over here, these officers up in here, this brother over here, when you see these brothers who are in this truth, and these sisters also, don't take us for granted, man.
That's right. That's right.
You understand? Because we have the strength and the power and the loyalty that Mattathias had and that Judas Maccabees had, man. We have it in here. You understand? This is where you find real martyrs for the truth, man. You understand? You guys, oh, that was it on that scripture. Thawada. Get back to Maccabees, Baba Kusha. Verse 18, if you could.
Verse 18. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment.
You understand? And that's what he wanted them to do, man. Like that's what he's telling Mattathias to do. Come and fulfill the king's commandments. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew that he was trying to, like they knew they was going to take this man of renown, this man of honor inside of his city, and make this man bow. That's like somebody coming to Commander General Yohana, like the powers that are over us now. Our person's coming to Commander General Yohana and telling him to bow before the Christmas tree or something. The only thing about it is our leader ain't gonna have that, man.
Right.
We got a good and honorable leader that will die before he disrespect. You understand, the Most High like that, man. You understand? And that goes for every brother inside of this school, man. This truth. You understand? Go ahead and read that.
Like as all the heathen have done.
Just like the heathen done. You see all of these other nations, you see all of these people who have said, you know what, the hell with my culture, the hell with my tongue, the hell with everything I believe in my moral compass. I'm going to go ahead and join HACHAANAKAH. Hell, he giving me this, he giving me that, fine, I'm going to take that, I'm going to take this. You know, he giving me money, giving me a stimulus. You know what I'm saying? You know how many brothers and sisters out there selling themselves out for a stimulus? Now listen, I'm not saying that getting a stimulus is wrong. Get your stimulus. But you don't have to be voting. You don't have to be voting for who's going to be the next president. That's not your duty. You shouldn't even be trying to pick a leader in this earth, man. You should be trying to pick an enemy that's not of your nation, according to the Bible. Like pick a person over you that's not of your nation. You know what I'm saying? And there's only one right leader on this earth right now until the return of Christ, and that's Commander General Yohana, man.
Right.
You understand? Read on that.
Like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judah also, as such as remain at Jerusalem. So shalt thou in thy house be in the number of the king's friends.
You understand? So in other words, you come join me and I'm gonna make you rich. You come and be wicked and just join my customs, join my culture, take part of my traditions. I'm gonna make you rich and glorious inside of this place. What does that sound like to you? That sounds like how they do us today, man. And guess who does that? Guess who accepts those gifts? Guess who accepts that? Our ball players, man.
Right.
You understand? Our so-called religious leaders, T.D. Jakes, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton. You know what I'm saying? And many other pastors, you know, these Christian pastors, forget about it, Farrakhan.
Right.
Go ahead, Al.
And if I could too, you understand, what you bring out is so heavy, you understand, because just like it says, like the heathen have done, I mean, like, look at the Muslims. You understand, like, they celebrate Christmas. Look at all these fake Israelites, they celebrate Christmas. You understand, and when it's talking about, you know, like as far as him being, you know, tempted, you understand, like, I mean, this is exactly, you know, how Christ was. You understand, Christ, you know, I mean, like, Satan was like, hey, man, listen, man, bow down before me, and I'm going to give you all these riches. You understand? I'm going to give you all this fame and glory. You understand? So I just want to bring that up.
No, I mean, that's right. Give him a hand. You understand? And that's how they get you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what we don't understand is that's like what they do to all of these rappers, man, in the industry.
Right.
Right? It's no difference. Now, we'll give you riches and power and fame and all that stuff, but all you gotta do is just, you know, go rob a brother, you know, go kill a brother. You know what I'm saying? So you can have a little clout or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Go sell some drugs. Let's talk about, let's make a rap song promoting drugs or selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? And you go and do it because why? It's giving you fame and fortune, silver and gold. Give me the scripture that says a gift destroys the heart, man. Find that scripture if you could, Uncle Shah. You know what I'm saying? They give you these things, you understand, to get you to submit. You know, they don't care about how it destroys black Hispanics and Native Indians. You know, they don't care about that. A lot of people don't even understand, you understand, the drug culture and the gang culture that was created by the so-called white man. You understand? Go ahead, Al.
It's like, so I was gonna say, I don't know what you were saying was so heavy about their drug and gang culture. It's like, our people don't even understand that the gang culture was created by the so-called oppressor, because they have taught us that they're the only people that kill somebody because of a color. They started it, and we picked it up and we do the same thing.
That's right, that's right.
They killed us because of a color, and now we kill each other because of a color.
Give them a hand.
Right.
That's exactly it, man. That's exactly it. Now, you out there killing yourself over blue and red and brown and whatever other colors out there, you know, that y'all gang affiliated with. You understand? You don't understand that you're taking the spirit of America.
Right.
Wow.
It's the same spirit.
Wow.
You understand? And you're dying over it, man. Well, we're supposed to be just serving one God, man, which is the God of the Jews, man.
Right.
The God of the Hebrews. The God of the Israelites, I should say. You understand? The God of black Hispanics and Negroes, man. Better read that again for me, Hot.
Did you want me to get the
Oh yeah, that scripture for me.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
Oppression make a wise man mad. If you were being oppressed, man, you'll get angry. Surely, right? Read on.
And a gift destroyed the heart.
But what happens when you were given a gift? What does that gift do, man? So when your oppressor give you a gift, go ahead, Al.
Make you selfish.
Not quite. Go ahead, Al.
It destroys your mindset.
Destroys your mind. Yep. Give me some more specifics. Mind, go ahead.
It's like, sir, it makes you weak.
Makes you weak, man. Anybody else? Go ahead, sis.
It makes you greedy.
Makes you greedy. Go ahead.
Makes you depend on them and not want to help your people.
That's a good one, man. What it does, man, is it makes you, all of y'all right in the sense that it makes you forget, you understand, what you are supposed to be about. Makes you forget what the Lord wanted you to be about, man.
Right.
Because when the so-called, when our oppressor gives us a gift, whether it be that $1 million contract we've been chasing all our lives, you understand, or these, you know, whatever it is, the benefits of voting for this person and this person got you over there voting because, oh, if you vote for me, I give you a stimulus. If you vote for me, I'm gonna, you know, give you this back to the poor and this and that. It destroys your mind, man, because your heart is your mind. it destroys your mind. It makes you think, well, in order to get by, I gotta be like them.
Right.
In order to get by, I gotta do this. When all you gotta do is just have faith in the Most High, man. All you gotta do is have faith in our King, the Mashiach Yahweh Shah, man. You know what I'm saying? And follow law, statutes, and commandments. And you can have whatever you desire in righteousness, man. You know what I'm saying? But that gift, you understand, that we take from our oppressor, from our enemies, it destroys us on this earth. Destroys our heart. It makes us not care about our brother. Get that money, what happens? We're ready to kill one of our brothers and sisters over that money. You understand? That's why so many brothers get shot and killed over a pair of Jordans, man. You understand? Like, or get robbed. See a brother with some money, he getting robbed because you gotta have that money so bad. Like it just causes all kinds of wickedness. That's why we need to accept the truth, you know what I'm saying, of the Most High, which is what Mattathias, you understand, and his son and these brothers did, man. Go ahead and read, Salaki.
You read that verse again, or
I'll go back to verse 18, Salaki.
verse 18. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, and the men of Judah also, and such the remain at Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
So shalt thou in thy house be in the number of the king's friends.
Yeah, be the number of the king's friends, man. So you can be a friend of them. And what you don't be understanding, and see, this is so heavy right here. Y'all be understanding is when y'all be over there rallying behind Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, these Negroes are friends with the enemy, man.
That's right. That's right.
Like these Negroes ain't out here. Every time somebody get killed, like Breonna Taylor or name some more brothers, George Floyd or Trayvon Martin, you see these Negroes pop up throwing up the black fist, you know what I'm saying, and they sitting there talking about some Black Lives Matter. These Negroes are friends with your enemy, man.
That's right.
Farrakhan is friends with your enemy.
Right.
Y'all sit up there and listen to that brother talk about black this, black that, and we need to do this and do that. Meanwhile, he taking pictures with some devil all around him on his, you know what I'm saying? I wish I could pull up a picture of that up there. You know what I'm saying? These are the leaders that you love and you follow and rally behind. You understand? And it's so wicked that you would do that you would accept them. When in reality, you understand, these brothers are weak.
Right.
These brothers are weak and they have no backbone. And they're not fit to lead a nation because they compromise. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of compromise is wicked, man. Like that kind of compromise is wicked. When you rather give up your integrity, you understand, and your morals that were given to you by the Most High to go and have a piece of the American pie. You understand? And a lot of brothers and sisters in the time of Antiochus, they went and they got some of that Greco-Roman pie. You know what I'm saying? But not Mattathias. Mattathias was ready to destroy that pie.
That's right.
He wasn't ready to have a piece of that. Keep going on.
And thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards.
Man, come on, man. That's a straight up bribe. Straight up bribe. That's how you get a nation of Negroes to follow you. If you vote for me, I'm gonna give you a $1,200 stimulus. And then your simple behind gonna get behind that vote, but I'm about to get this $1,200 stimulus. Meanwhile, you get that $1,200 stimulus, you're gonna pay that damn light bill or that overdue rent bill, and you ain't gonna have no more of it.
Right.
And then what? Nothing, Negro. Well, you got a whole racist. Go ahead.
So like I said, I was gonna say that's so heavy what you're bringing out because a lot of my people went out there and voted for Joe Biden thinking he was going to authorize the stimulus checks. And even if he does authorize the stimulus checks, people gonna take the money and spend it on Christmas and be right back broke again.
Man, come on, man. You about to say something? Oh, I thought you was raising your hand. Give my hand. That's true. You gonna take that $1,200 stimulus and you finna turn up on Christmas. You about to turn up on Christmas, man. You ain't thinking about taking that money and investing it in nothing but what you gonna buy your kids or buy yourself for Christmas. And wonder why your tail about to get evicted up out of that house. Cause you against the Lord, man. The Lord allows that thing to happen when you being dishonorable and evil and wicked to the Most High. The evictions come, man. The lights get turned off. The vehicles get repoed. You understand? All of that stuff happens, man. Cause your loyalty ain't with the Most High. Your loyalty is with your enemies, man.
That's right.
You put your trust in in our oppressors' dollars, man.
Right.
Go ahead and continue on. Wondering why your life is so destroyed. It's because you don't love the Most High like you say you do.
Right.
In order to truly love the Most High, you gotta be willing to give it up, all of it. You understand? And come and follow Christ. And that's what Mattathias and that's what Jewish Maccabees did, man. These was brothers who said to hell with that. Keep reading up.
Verse 19. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice.
Mattathias is about to speak, and I already know because I can feel it what he about to say. Go ahead.
Though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him.
Though all of these other nations obey you, Antiochus, even though all these, whatever, all of these people, the Chinese, even though all of the Chinese people, even though all the African people, even though all of the, Indian people, all the Arab people, even though all of them obey you, read on.
And fall away every one from the religion of their fathers.
And fall away from the traditions of their fathers, even though they obey you and say to him with the traditions and religions of their fathers, read.
And give consent to his commandments.
And give consent to your commandments, meaning they obey you, read.
Verse 20. Yet will I and my sons.
Yet will I and my sons, read.
And my brethren.
And my brethren.
Walk in the covenant of our fathers.
What was Mattathias saying? What did he say? Go ahead, Abba.
So like it, sir. He was saying, F what you talking about, we gonna follow what our fathers follow.
That's basically all he was saying.
That's right.
Just imagine him saying it, just like Larry Bond said. That's what he said. He said, forget what you talking about. We don't do what the Most High commanded us to do. We don't do what the traditions of my father. He said, as for me and my house, right, I'm going to serve the Most High. That's in the Bible. That's what he said he was going to do. He's going to serve the Most High. And he was right for saying that. It was righteous. You understand? And he knew that he was worshiping, right? I mean, he knew, Salakia. He knew that the man that wanted him to bow down to him was capable of taking his life. And that didn't strike him. There was no fear in that man. That is a man who was not scared. He wasn't no punk. Just like Christ wasn't no punk, man.
Right.
You gotta understand that there is no punks in the truth.
That's right.
That's why the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is the home of the truth, man.
Right.
You're down here. And saying the wonder, Yahweh Shah, you understand, for the ISUPK. Because there ain't no punks in here.
Right.
Ain't nobody gonna be able to turn us away from the Most High, man.
Right.
Read on, man.
Verse 21. God forbid that we shall forsake the law and the ordinance.
Man, listen. He said, God forbid shall we forsake the law. He's saying, I ain't about to turn my back on the Most High. I'm not about to turn my back on tradition. Listen, it is what it is. I see you, Antiochus. I see you. You got everybody following you. Okay, don't sweat. They want to be homosexual. I'm not doing it. Forget that. You got it. But I'm not doing that.
Right.
Like, you tripping. Go ahead.
We will not hearken to the king's word.
We not about to hear what he got to say. We don't care what he's saying. We're not about to do that. That's the kind of thing you have to have in your mindset. Like the minute somebody say, well, why don't you go ahead and have this pork? It ain't gonna hurt you. Eat a piece of that. Go ahead and have a piece of that. Your pastor tell you, it ain't gonna hurt you. It ain't gonna kill you to have some of that. Go ahead. You got to be able to say no. And you got to say it with heart, man. You got to know it in your mind that that's not the right way. That's not something you should be doing. Mattathias knew it in his heart, man. He had the spirit of the Most High. Inside of him, he knew that was not what the Most High desired for him to do. And he stood on it so heavily that even though he knew he could be put to death for it, he wasn't compromising.
Right.
He wasn't compromising. It wasn't about to happen. Brother said, I'm not about to do that. As for me in my house, I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna run away from the traditions of my forefathers. Everybody else want to leave Buddha behind, go leave Buddha behind and join him. If you want to leave Islam behind, whatever your religion is, or whatever you do, go, no sweat. Go ahead and do what you want to do. I ain't about to do it.
Right.
You got me twisted. I ain't gonna do it. We know not.
Come. To go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left.
What scripture, what verse we on?
We're going into verse 23 right now.
Read that verse you just read again.
Verse 22. We would not hearken unto the king's word.
Right?
To go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left.
Yeah, we not about to leave. We not about to do it, man. We not about to go away from what we believe in, what we understand. It ain't about to happen. Read on.
Verse 23.
And in other words, Mattathias was just simply saying the hell with what you saying. The hell with what you talking about. We gonna do what our forefathers said, or what the Most High commanded us. Keep reading, Salaki.
Verse 23. Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment.
Ooh, so this is showing you how wicked we had became as a people, because at this point he saw a man in Modin, in that land that Mattathias is in. He saw a man who was a brother, who decided that he was going to worship. You understand? He was going to worship the false gods of Antiochus, man. That he was going to go against the Most High and make himself, you understand, to worship to worship, you understand, to worship the gods of Antiochus, man. Read on.
Verse 24, which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal.
And it's crazy, like going back to that. Look at this hill right now, right? Like even in this hill, man, that we in, man, you see brothers and sisters selling out so heavy, right? Like as if things is gonna get better because you went and joined our oppressors and you made yourself like look at the okay right now, right? Homosexuality is such an evil thing to do, and it's running rampant inside of our nation. But what else comes with homosexuality? AIDS. You understand? All kinds of diseases come with, that kind of lifestyle, right? And so we don't think about that kind of thing that happens because we're just trying to please our flesh and we're trying to serve our enemies when we're supposed to be serving the Most High, man. You understand? And so you're going to have individuals who are going to sell out and say, you know what? I've been eating pork all my life, I'm going to eat it anyway. My mama brought it, it's cheap, I'm going to eat it anyway. I don't care what you got to say about it. You don't feed me, you don't pay my bills and this and that, I'm going to eat it anyway. And so Mattathias, he saw a man sacrificing on that altar, you understand? And saw him worshiping on that altar. Go ahead,
He was inflamed with zeal.
And so when Mattathias saw this, he was inflamed with zeal. You understand? Right, read on.
And his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
Man, read that again. I don't think y'all understand what's going on right here. Read.
Which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal.
Mattathias was inflamed with zeal. This is a man, you understand, who was so, who was so inflamed with doing what was right in the sight of the Most High, who loved the truth. You understand? He saw a man. You understand? He saw a man who was a Jew, who was like unto him. You know what I'm saying? On there worshiping or trying to sacrifice on one of these altars created by, you understand, Antiochus, right? And what did he do? Mattathias went and slew him, put him to death, man. Because that's what's supposed, according to the law, you're supposed to be put to death, man.
Right.
When you for worshiping false gods, it's false idols, that's a sin against the Lord, man. And so it was on sight for Mattathias. Mattathias was like, no, it's a wrap. He had to die. That brother had to die that day. And Mattathias was absolutely right for having to execute that man, but doing what he did. You understand? Which was, it was just a horrible thing to do in the eyesight of the Most High, to be worshiping, you understand, our enemies, and Mattathias knew that. That's how much zeal he had. That's how you knew that this was a rightful leader for the Jews, because this was a man that wasn't having it. Much like Moses. Moses, listen, you did something that was against the laws that was given to Moses, you got put to death. You understand? Read on.
Neither could he forbear to show his anger, according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. Verse 25.
Read.
Also the king's commissioner, who was compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time. And the altar he pulled down.
Man, Mattathias was no joke, bro. It was no joke. Mattathias went and killed the king's commissioner and snatched down the altar, brother. This is a man that was not playing, bro. This is not a man that was playing. This is a man that was after the heart of the Most High. And you gotta be this loyal to the truth, man.
Right.
Like this is the spirit of the highest beginning. You understand? This is the spirit of the Most High that you're willing to show. You know what I'm saying? That you have love for the Most High. Of course, I'm not telling y'all to go out there and be putting people to death. Please don't do that. Don't say that I told you to do that.
Right.
You understand? Don't do that. There's a time and place. The most of when Christ comes, he'll handle our enemies. At this point, you just learn how to shed yourself for the world. Get yourself right. You know what I'm saying? And then teach other men how to fish. You understand? Read.
Verse 26. Thus dwelt he zealously for the law of God, like as Phoenix did unto the Zabri, the son of Salam.
Keep reading.
Verse 27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, Whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me.
Get the definition of zealous, Baba Kushab. Mattathias cried out through the city, and he said with a loud voice, saying, Whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. This is a man that's about to rally up brothers and sisters who is with the Most High. He's about to raise up the Lord's army, is what he's doing, right? He's raising up the Lord's army. You got that for me? Read.
The Merriam-Webster definition of zealous, marked with a fervent partisanship for a person, a cause of an ideal, filled with or characterized by zeal.
Give me the definition. Read that one more time. The fervent. Give me the one that said fervent.
Okay, come. Marked by fervent partisanship for a person, a cause, or an ideal.
This is a man who stood on something, man, and he stood on it so strongly that it caused him to do what was right. You understand? And he did what was right. You understand? And he went out. He like, this is a man who wanted to take. Like, he knew that he had it. He knew that we wasn't supposed to be following Antiochus. So he wanted to take that to the point of I'm about to rally up everybody. I'm about to let them know anybody who's willing to still follow the Most High. There ain't no more homosexuals. If it's some people out here who ain't homosexuals, if it's some brothers and sisters out here who don't want to eat that pork, shrimp, and crab and lobster, and who is still following the Lord's law, statutes, commandments, I'm gonna rally them up, and we gonna do the damn thing. We finna go out here and we about to make sure you understand that we gonna show, you understand, Antiochus, that the Most High is with us. You understand? Read on.
Verse 27. Yeah, verse 27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me.
Right, and so this led to what some people in history call the Maccabean revolt. All right, he's going to gather up all of these brothers, and they getting ready to go and revolt against Antiochus IV. All right, you know what I'm saying? After Mattathias' death, a short while after, one of his 5 sons, you understand, Judah Maccabee, continues to lead the soldiers of Israel into battle after battle against the Greeks. Finally, 3 years later, in 164 BC, the forces of Israel, led by Judah Maccabee, successfully expelled the last of the Greek soldiers from the city of Jerusalem. The Israelites then took the task of cleaning the temple of the Most High. You understand? Give you Maccabees chapter 4, verse 42. You understand? So now at this time, one of his sons, Judas Maccabees, one of Mattathias' sons, Judas Maccabees, of course, came and he finished the job up, man. They revolted, and they revolted for so many years, and then Judas Maccabees came up, and he continued on the legacy of his father until they expelled the last of the Greeks, man. Until they got rid of all of those Greeks, and they took back over the temples of the Most High, man. Give them a hand for that, man. Because that's what we gonna do, man. You understand? When Christ returned, we are taking over this earth, rulership of this earth. We've done it before, we're gonna do it this time, but this time it's gonna be for eternity. This nation is gonna be ruled by Black and Hispanic and Native Indian people, man.
That's right.
This earth is gonna be, this universe is gonna be ruled by Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people. That's biblical. That's something you will never be taught. This is all in the Bible. Something you'll never be taught by your Christian pastor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because the gift destroys the heart, man. They're gonna teach what is gonna put money in their pockets, man. They're not gonna teach what's right. They're going to teach what's going to get money put in their pockets. We're going to teach what would have gotten us killed years ago, like thousands of years ago. We're going to teach what would have got us killed, man. While they're going to teach what's going to get them money. Read.
This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 42.
Mm-hmm.
So he chose priests of blameless conversation, such as had pleasure in the law.
Right, so he decided, so Judas Maccabees, this is the time after Mattathias, this Judas Maccabees, and of course Judas Maccabees took over the revolt, and he ridded the rest of the Greeks out of that land, you understand, and then he went and he found men that was in Israel that was a blameless what?
A blameless conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Such as had pleasure in the law.
He went and found those, you understand, that did not sell out.
Right.
Those that would not sell out, and those who wanted to keep the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You understand? Those who love the Most High.
Right.
Go ahead, Doc.
So he wants some hardcore brothers.
Yeah, man. That's facts. And he went after hardcore brothers, and that's what Commander Giuliani did, man. And you looking at his community, this school is full of hardcore brothers. It's because we have the spirit of Mattathias, the spirit of Judas Maccabees. This is not a game for us, man.
Right.
This is not a game. You're not playing camp. You know what I'm saying? You're not playing church. You're not doing none of this. These Negroes, look around. These brothers that you see, your husbands, you understand, the brother that's next to you, these are men who are willing to die behind this. If you don't understand that, maybe it's going to take you a little bit more time, but eventually you'll understand these are men who are willing to die behind this, man. This is not a joke, and Mattathias was not a joke, man. This is a man who told the king, I'm not finna follow you, and he knew that that king could kill him. Just like the sister, and that goes for your sisters too, just like I told you, the sister that died is watched her sons die, and they all died because they refused to eat pork. That's one hell of a sister. That's a strong sister right there, man. Read on that.
So he chose priests of blameless conversation, such as have pleasure in the law. Verse 43, who cleanse the sanctuary and bear out the defiled stones into an unclean place.
So at this point, they decided they was going to go ahead and go clean the temple out. You understand? They're going to get rid of all of the horrible, disgusting things that were brought into that temple, the idols, everything that made that temple unclean. They got rid of it, man. They took it all out of there. You understand? Because they took back what belonged to them. Keep reading.
Verse 44, and as they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offerings, which was profane, verse 45, they thought it best to pull it down.
They thought it was best to destroy it. You understand? When they saw all of the altar of the profane things that was being offered, they thought it was best to just go ahead and destroy it, man. Read on.
Lest it should be a reproach to them, because the heathen had defiled it. Wherefore they pulled it down.
Right, because they didn't want to have no. Listen, you don't want to go up in a place where you know somebody been having sex on the altar, or you know just being homosexuals or having orgy. You don't want to walk in there and see this thing that they've been on. They did like imagine imagine this temple was in there, right? And somebody, you've been in this temple before, you done seen them having sex and just snorting a line on this table. You ain't gonna want to see this table in here no more, man. If you came here and saw me, Lord forbid, you ain't gonna never see that happen, but if you came here and you saw me snorting a line on this table and you kicked me up out of here, you gonna want this table here no more? No, because every time you think about this table, you gonna think about how somebody was snorting a line on this table. Am I right, Kazan?
That's right, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So that stuff had to go. All of that stuff you had to take it out of there, man.
God.
Keep reading.
Verse 47. Verse 46. And laid upon the stones in the mountain. Verse 46. And laid up the stones in the mountain of the temple in a convenient place, until there should come a prophet to show what should be done with them.
Right, keep reading.
Verse 47. Then they took whole stones according to the law and built a new altar according to the former.
They built a new altar according to the former, man. They got rid of that old altar because that altar had pig blood on it, man. And it was orgies taking place on that thing, man. It was just all kinds of wicked and horrible and disgusting things taking place on it. They had to get rid of it, and guess what they did? They built a new one, man, according to the old one. Right? Read on.
Okay. And made up the sanctuary and the things that were within the temple, and hallowed the courts.
Keep reading.
49. They made also new holy vessels, and into the temple they brought the candlestick.
They brought the candlestick, read on.
And the altar of burnt offerings, and of incense, and the table.
If you see what we have on this table, this is all tradition. The burning of the candles, you understand, on the menorah, you understand, the incense, you understand, all of this stuff is traditions. These are things that we do in our nation. This is something that is an ancient tradition, and this is something that was done even in this time period in the sanctuaries and in the altars of the Israelites, man. You understand? Read on.
And upon the altar they burned incense, and the lamps that were upon the candlestick they lighted, that they may give the light in the temple.
Read that again.
And upon the altar they burned the incense, and the lamps that were upon the candlestick they lighted, that they may give light in the temple.
Which is what we're doing here, man. You understand? And all of this represents our independence, man. You know what I'm saying? As a nation. At this time was the temple that Solomon had built. It had already been destroyed once before and rebuilt during the time of the prophet Ezra and Nehemiah. You understand? The heathens had turned Solomon's temple into a place of worship for Zeus. You understand? Or any other gods on this earth. You understand? All manner of orgies, parties, and abominations were committed in the house that was built for the Most High. And listen, if you ever want to know what it was like being inside of that temple at that time, just go into the Christian church, man. Just go into it. I challenge you, just one day go into a Christian church. It's the same thing. That what you see going on in there, the same thing you see going on inside of this time in that temple that was built for Solomon in that time period. All right? This is why Judas instructed the priests to cleanse and sanctify. It had to be cleansed and sanctified. Nobody was going to go up in there and just be trying to have class and sacrifice to the Most High when you got semen all over the damn place, and you got pig guts all over the place, and just all kinds of garbage going on up in there that comes from, this empire that was created by Antiochus. Like, come on, man, it's just a disgusting place. Our place of worship for the Most High is supposed to be clean. Read on. Oh, Salaki. I'm back on the Salaki. Also, before any sacrifices could be made to the Most High, they had to destroy the old altar and build a new one. Give me 1 Maccabees chapter 4, verse 52.
Verse 52.
Now, this is going to go into the holy day, right? This memorial, right? Read on.
Verse 52. Now on the 5th and 20th day of the 9th month, which is called the month of Casalu, in the 180th year, they rose up baptized in the morning. Verse 53. And offered sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offerings which they had made. 54. Look at what time and what day the heathen have profaned it, even it that was it dedicated with psalms and cithars and harps and cymbals. 55. Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the God of heaven who had given them good success. 56. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days and offered burnt offerings with gladness and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. 57. They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold.
You understand? This is now where we're celebrating our victory, and we've taken back our temple, and we've rid the heathens and all of the wickedness out of that temple, and we are now building our altar back to where it was, and we're decking it with crowns of gold, man. And we're decking it with gold, man. You understand? That's like what we're doing today right here at Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man. We're taking back this truth. You understand? And what you see us doing is we're building schools all over the United States, man, and in other countries, right? We're taking it back and we're making these schools glorious because this is the place of work. This is the place that is for the Most High, man, that the Most High dwells in. You understand? And that's what they were doing. Read on up.
And with shields in the gates of the chambers, they renewed and hanged doors upon them. 58. Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away.
And put it away. No more, Indians, like East Indians, no more Chinese and Japanese people, no more of these other nations in your land teaching you how to eat dog and eat bat and have sex with animals and all of that kind of stuff and doing drugs, opium and heroin and all of these things. No more of that. No more of that takes place. Why? Because Mattathias and his sons, they rented, you understand, the heathens out of that land. And they killed their king, man. You understand? They killed their king and got him up out of there, so that they can go back to worshiping the Most High, so that the Most High can be back on their side, man. Read.
Moreover, Judas and his brethren, with the whole congregation of Israel, ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season for year to year by space of 8 days, from the 5th and 20th day of the month, Cassalu, with mirth and gladness.
This is the law that was given to us, that we remember this day. You understand? And that we remember this day, and that we remember and honor the men who saved us out of the hands of Antiochus, man. You understand? Who saved us out of the hands of our enemies. And this is going to happen once again, man. When we get brought out of America, man, we're going to be taken out of this place, but we're going to be taken out of this place by the Spirit of the Most High, man.
Right.
We're not going to be taken out of this place by going and marching with our enemies, by yelling Allah Akbar. You know, listen, there's only one way to come up out of this captivity. You know what I'm saying? And that's worshiping the Lord, and that's following the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments, man.
Right.
That's the only way. That's the only way you can turn the Most High towards you, to back to you, man. And that's following Him and being loyal and righteous to Him, man. You understand? And also, of course, loving your neighbor, loving your brother, your sister, man. And not forsaking who your God is, man. Do you know that?
Come. At that time also they builded up the Mount Zion with high walls and strong towers round about, lest the Gentiles should come and trend it down as they had done before.
Listen, they got wiser. They said, listen, we're going to go ahead and build this place stronger. We're going to build this place stronger because we don't want the same thing to happen again. We don't want these heathens to come in and set a stronghold in our city anymore and take over. You know what I'm saying? They got wiser. You know?
Verse 61. And they set there a garrison to keep it.
And it said a garrison. What is a garrison? Go ahead,
It's like a army stronghold.
That's exactly what it is. Give my hand. Garrison is a stronghold. It's an army. The Israel got wise on their behinds and put up an army, set up an army to where they couldn't get inside of in that land. Go ahead,
It's like, so I had the definition of it also.
Good.
The definition of garrison in the Bible: a body of troops stationed in a fortified place, the place where such troops are stationed.
Give my hand. That's the answer. That's what it is. It's an army. It's an army of troops. It's men who are to guard that land or to guard that place. You understand? So that people who are intruders can't get in. These are righteous men who make sure that nobody can get in. You understand? That's why when you see in the school, you know what I'm saying, when we be out at camp or when we be at feast days or when we be at the Passover, you want to see a garrison of men. You understand? To make sure that nobody can get in and do harm to brothers and sisters and children inside of our nation. You understand? Read on.
And fortified Bethsura to preserve it, that the people might have a defense against Idumea.
I'll read that again, Salaki.
And they set there a garrison to keep it, and fortified Bethsura to preserve it, that the people might have a defense against Idumea.
That we have a chance or a defense against our enemies, Idumea, which I do believe is the so-called white man, Esau. You understand? You understand? So we can have a defense. Do we have a defense today? Yeah, it's the truth, which is right here in the Israelite School University of Practical Knowledge. And outside of that, what do you have? You have your weak gates, man. You have Al Sharpton, you have Bishop T.D. Jakes. You have all these men who would sell you for gain. You understand? But you got men inside of the ISBK that are like Mattathias, that are like Judas Maccabees and his other brothers, who said, to hell with that. I'm not going to follow your traditions. I'm not going to get rid of my beliefs, my religion, my understanding, my culture, my tongue, to go and follow you. I'm not going to do that. Was there any more than that?
That was the end of that chapter.
Drop that and give me Colossians 2 and 8, man. We gotta keep ourselves, you know what I'm saying, strong, you know what I'm saying, and be martyrs, you understand, for this truth. But we also gotta remember, you know what I'm saying, to not be captivated by the deceit of our enemies. You know what I'm saying? And one of the only reasons why, you know, our brothers and sisters, other than the fact that it was forced on us, but a lot of the reasons why, you understand, we fall into the traditions of our enemies, other than them forcing it on us, is because we're given, you understand, gold and silver, and we're given things to attract our minds, right? Give me that.
It's the book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
You understand? And that's what Antiochus was doing, man. Antiochus was spoiling Israel with vain what?
With vain deceit.
With vain deceit. You understand? With philosophies and vain deceit. You know what I'm saying? Telling them, oh, you know, you'll get this, you'll become a friend of mine, and you know, and I'll give you silver and gold if you know what I'm saying, if you go ahead and follow me, if you worship me. You understand? If you worship my gods, if you sacrifice at my altars. You understand? If they had known that they wasn't supposed to be taken by that kind of that deceit, you know what I'm saying, that they would have worshipped the Most High, and the Most High would deliver them out of that, man. I'm saying, but a lot of brothers and sisters in that time period, they decided to not follow them. They decided to do what was against the Most High. You understand? We have to model ourselves. I'm going to say this and I'm going to end it. But we have to model ourselves after brothers like Mattathias. We have to model ourselves after brothers, you understand, like Judas Maccabees, who said to hell with that. And the sister as well, who said to hell with that. You understand? Matter of fact, in a teaching class tomorrow, we'll go into 2 Maccabees talking about the sister and how that sister literally and her sons gave up their lives to worship the Most High, man. Which was an honorable plight. It was an honorable thing for them to do. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be that willing, you know what I'm saying, to serve the Most High. This is not the Christian church.
That's right.
This is not go in there, clap your hands, speak in tongues, walk out, go smoke weed, and come back again. We don't do that in here. And here we're after the Most High's heart. And whatever the Most High desires of us, that is what we love. That is all that we care about. Not about how we feel, not about what we want. It's about what the Most High wants for us and what we should and how we should serve Him, man.
Right.
And Mattathias understood that, and again, we are here to commemorate this event. This was the day that these men came up and they defeated Israel from Antiochus IV, who was a Greek ruler in the Seleucid time period, the Seleucid Empire. And this is a man that wanted to join us all together, just like America, man. With that being said, I'm in the class. Hand it over to Priest Officer Mark Dockett.
Christ. RSUPK security announcements.
We got an RSUPK star on 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment. You can read about this in Numbers chapter 18, verses 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means stipend in Hebrew, Mahashua. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasurer, proper teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you like. Of course, the current holy convocation that we are in right now, of course, is the Feast of Dedication. Of course, as we did read, this falls on the 25th day of the 9th month by space of 8 days. And we are in that first day of the 8 days. And of course, we read about it in 1 Maccabees chapter 4, verses 52 through 61. Remind occupant, I'll go out to check the books and go in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black blue shirts, headband and scarf. With that, we're going to give one courtesy salute at the man and stand.
Men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah. Sorry, we're going to turn face the sisters if the sisters cannot stand up. Men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah. Yajim Tat, dismissed.